This is one of the videos that I had to redo. It's out of the book of Josephus, the book 6, The Jewish War. This was the previous one. I had to delete that one because it was broken up. The audio was not good, it was poor. So I hope you can hear me clearly because I'm going to read some of it to you. So, the Jewish War, I'm on page 884, and I will start. Upon this speech of Titus, the rest of the multitude were frightened at so great a danger. But there was one whose name was Sabinus, a soldier that served among the cohorts, and a Syrian by birth, who appeared to be of very great fortitude both in the actions he had done and the courage of his soul he had shown. Although anybody would have thought before he came to his work that he was of such a weak constitution of body that he was not fit to be a soldier, for his color was black, his flesh was lean and thin and lay close together. But there was a certain heroic soul that dwelt in this small body, which body was indeed much too narrow for that peculiar courage which was in him. Accordingly, he was the first that rose up when he thus spoke. I readily surrender up myself to you, O Caesar. I first ascend the wall, and I heartily wish that my fortune may follow my courage and my resolution. And if some infortune grudge me the success of my undertaking, take notice that my failure will not be unexpected, but that I choose death voluntarily for your sake. When he had said this, and had spread out his shield over his head with his left hand, and had with his right hand drawn his sword, he marched up to the wall just about the 6th hour of the day. There followed him 11 others, and no more, that resolved to imitate his bravery. But still this was the principal person of them all, and went first, as excited by a divine fury. Now those that guarded the wall shot at them from there, and cast innumerable darts upon them from every side. They also rolled very large stones upon them, which overthrew some of those 11 that were with him. But as for Sabinus himself, he met the darts that were cast at him, and though he was overwhelmed with them, yet did he not leave off the violence of his attack before he had gotten up on the top of the wall and had put the enemy to flight. For as the Jews were astonished at his great strength and the bravery of his soul, and as besides they imagined more of them had got upon the wall than really had, they were put to flight. And now one cannot but complain here of fortune, as still envious at virtue and always hindering the performance of glorious achievements. This was the case of the man before us, when he had just obtained his purpose, for he then stumbled at a certain large stone, and fell down upon it headlong, with a very great noise, upon which the Jews turned back, and when they saw him to be alone, and fallen down also, they threw darts at him from every side. However, he got upon his knee and covered himself with his shield, and at the first defended himself against them, and wounded many of those that came near him. But he was soon forced to relax his right hand by the multitude of the wounds that had been given him, until at length he was quite covered over with darts before he gave up the ghost. He was one who deserved a better fate by reason of his bravery, but as might be expected, he fell under so vast an attempt. As for the rest of his partners, the Jews dashed 3 of them to pieces with stones, and killed them as they were gotten up to the top of the wall. The other 8, being wounded, were pulled down and carried back to the camp. These things were done upon the 3rd day of the month Pentemus. All right, so that is some of the um, that is some of what I read out of the book of Josephus, some of the Jewish war out of book 6, chapter 1. Okay, so if you want, you can get the book of Josephus from Amazon, and I will show you what this looks like, and I hope that you heard everything clearly. Okay, this is the book of Josephus, and this is what it looks like inside. All right, this is where I read. I started from here, going down all the way up, and I ended. I don't know if you see the word, but right where my finger is, that's where I stopped reading. If you want me to read more, and if I decide there will be more videos of this, but as of right now, it'll be just this one. Okay, and this is what the back of the book looked like. All right, so take your time reading. There's no rush. I had to redo this because the last video that I did of this, it was really bad. The audio was really bad. Okay. Anyway, that'll be all. Until next time.